Alright guys, so I got a question submitted to offlinemarketingclass.com and I want to go over the question. So here it is. I'm going to get closer so I can read it. What are the necessary means of accepting payment and the process once they have decided to buy? What do the customers feel most comfortable with using and what's the most popular? So I use two different things for my business. I always sway people into using checks. We in the office we call it check by phone. But really what the client does is when we send them a contract through EchoSign, in that contract they fill out their bank name, their banking information, their checking information, their routing number. They fill out all that information and then they sign it. So then we take that data, we take that information, and then we create an actual check with their information. That's my preferred method of taking payment. The reason for that is high credit card fees for one. When transactions are going to be $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 a month for SEO services, I don't want to deal with the credit card fees with that. Two, if you are processing through credit cards, you'll know that especially the internet marketing community is taking a big hit with credit cards. With people saying they're not getting the right services, they think that they got something that they shouldn't have, and so people are charging back within the internet marketing community. Customers are. So that means that credit card, the merchant account providers are saying, well, if you do internet marketing, then you're high risk, and we're going to bump up the fees even more. So my preferred method of doing transactions with my customers is through the check by phone. So secondary to that, if they feel like they're not comfortable with it, or a lot of times it's more comfortability. If they say, I'm not comfortable with giving out my checking and routing information, then I do accept credit cards. And because I have been burned by merchant accounts by taking out, not only did I get chargebacks, they literally dipped back into my bank account, and they pulled out 6 months worth of revenue, which was at the time it was 15 grand. So now I know if I'm going to have credit cards, if I'm going to take credit cards, I have two different merchant accounts, and I have two different banks. That I have my main bank, and then I have my main checking account for only processing credit card information. And usually what I'll do is every 48 hours I'll either wire that information to my main Wells Fargo account, or I will go to the Chase account, that's where the other checking account is, and I'll literally grab the cash and then I'll dump it into my Wells Fargo account. So those are the two best options: either check by phone, taking their checking information, or doing credit cards. I don't like using PayPal because it just seems cheap to me. So I like to actually take their credit card information. If they don't want to do checks, then I'll do credit cards. So then they just, again, it's through a contract. I send over the contract, they sign it via EchoSign, and then they fill out their credit card information with all their data, and then we'll process that through the merchant account. So those are the two ways that are best for potential prospects. The way I kind of sway people into using checks is I tell them what I just said to you, which is, listen, merchant account providers are saying that my industry, even though I do a good job, that I am now in a high risk category, and if I want to process credit cards, the fees for doing SEO services are going to be a lot higher than other industries. That being said, I need to charge you a little bit extra to make up that spread for using credit cards, because now the fees are so high, and I'm in a high risk category. And I'd say 70% of the time they say, well, I'd rather not pay more for your services, um, and I'll just use my banking information. So that's the goal, because I'd rather, with the banking information, there's no fees associated. I mean, the only cost really is for printing it and the time it takes me to go and cash that check, and really that's just me I just like to actually physically take it to an ATM or to the bank, but in reality now you can just take your phone and take a snapshot of it and it will be submitted to your bank. So again, those are my preferred methods for doing transactions with my prospects and customers. So I hope you enjoyed that. Please, if you have any more questions, I'm always happy to answer any and all offline marketing related questions that you have. If you go to offlinemarketingclass.com/questions, there's a form. It's anonymous. You can put your name in there, but I'm not going to get any other information out of you except for your question. So go there, fill out a question, and I will do a video and answer for you. Hope you enjoyed.